nécessaire pour que vous soyez au calme. Il y a juste un arbitre, si vous avez des questions ou des choses comme ça. Il a des réglettes officielles, c'est moi qui les ai fait.
Are you gonna go again to the European next year?
Ah, par contre, j'ai pas de réglette de portée. Est-ce que je peux indiquer les officiels?
I suppose so.
I hope
the reason why.
Validé.
Okay, there's a lot of noise right now. Hold on, guys. The reason why I go to the European Championships is because my sister lives right next door. So it's like easy. The plane is like that. Here's the European Championships. Here's my sister's house. So it works out really easy. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the final of the French National Championships. I'm joined by Sebastian.
Sebastian, yes.
Sebastian is from Chile.
From Chile,
but
and
lives
France.
in Spain since when? In France since when?
No, yes, I live in France since 2007.
Okay, so about 10 years.
10 years, yes.
Excellent. So,
But I live like 20 years in France before. I went back to Chile and went back to France.
Oh, okay. And what did you? I'm noticing that's really, really slow back there.
Allez-y, posez vos vaisseaux, parce que
Ouais. À toi. Oui, ça va.
So yes, so what I was asking, I'm just seeing it's really slow, and that's got me worrying. Je suis bien. Je suis prêt.
Non, je suis pas là.
Ah oui, mais oui. Okay, so what were we saying? So you come from Chile, you lived in France for 10 years. How long have you been playing X-Wing?
2 years now.
2 years? So you must have come in around about the same time as the TLT.
Yes.
Yeah?
But I always like to say that I like X-Wing because I first saw Wings of War.
Yeah.
And I follow this game, and X-Wing is like Wings of War, and you have Star Wars universe with the game.
I know. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm going to be really distracted by that because that's really delayed. So I'm going to try not to pay any attention to what's going on behind me because if not, I'm going to be sweating. Okay, so here we go. They've got their asteroids done. Don't pay attention to that. Okay, it's not so bad. It's going a bit quicker now.
It's fine.
No, because I just showed up there. This is like from ages ago. Look.
But this one.
This is fine for us, but they're watching that one.
You have a clone.
It's Doctor Who, no? Never here.
Yes, a clone.
I travel through time. Everywhere. Okay. Okay, so apologies to the national audience here at France. They're going to be getting a really slow game. I'm seeing, and that's probably part of the reason why everyone's been complaining yesterday. At least it's halfway decent quality.
Max, c'est le moment. Max, dépêche-toi.
Okay, so anyway, this is what people are watching.
Can I move the mic?
Oh, absolutely, but what you need to speak into is this bit here, yeah?
Because I have some problem to hear you.
Okay.
A lot of noise around.
Yeah, there's a lot of noise. Okay. So, and if I can't hear you, I'll move it. Okay. So don't pay any attention to it. Okay. This moves more than you do. Okay. You can see that already. Okay. So I'll move it. Just ignore the fact that I'm doing it. It doesn't mean you have to suddenly change or do anything. I'll put it in the place where it's right for you.
Good.
So where were we? We are going full screen now to be able to see what's going on. Let's have a quick look at the lists. Julien, and we also know that the yellow player has the initiative in this matchup, which is critical in the case of nothing, just placing the first rock. So because before we were talking about the possible final with a Vader. Vader quick draw and the Quetzal. Yeah, but there was the other list that was in the semi-final. Could have possibly made it to the final.
Yeah. Who had the initiative now?
The yellow player has the initiative.
The player.
So that only indicated that who was going to place the first rock.
Yes. That's okay.
And I'm assuming
11,
time has started. Pierre. Futile.
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 Oh, he's over there now. Look. Futile!
Futile.
Utile et demander aux organisateurs.
Is there a clock? Is there a clock? Who has the clock? ¿Cuánto tiempo?
Yes. I take my mount. My watch.
When did it
C'est
start?
mon anglais, là, il est en panne.
Qu'est-ce que ça a commencé?
Alors ça va commencer à 16h30.
4:30 p.m.
Alors le tournoi de la finale va commencer dans 1 minute.
In 1 minute.
Okay, so 120 minutes on the clock. Okay, we're ready to go. Hold on, guys.
C'est parti.
And we are underway with the first final. The final of. Well, this is the first national championship hosted by Asmodee, because beforehand it was a different distributor in France. But now this is the first X-Wing championship organised by Asmodee, and they wanted to go all out on this one. That was why they were really keen to have me come here and be able to do this, even though it's not gone too well. They've been quite accommodating.
It's because of Asmodee that you are here?
They were. It was. Well, yes. I mean, obviously, that happens in every event. It's because of the organisation that I'm here. Because they can always turn around and say, no, we don't want you to come here. We don't want your cables. We don't want you plugging stuff in to our internet, and we don't want you doing everything like that. So, I mean, it's always with their collaboration. But they did do a lot of work to help me get here. That can be
because
said.
it's great to have you.
I'm really happy to be here, but yesterday was a nightmare. So I was wishing I hadn't come because it was a really it was kind of dates that were like really difficult to do anything about. Like, for example, in my hometown, this weekend is a festival, and we have fireworks.
But in Spain or in
Spain?
Ah, in Spain, yes.
Yeah.
Julien in Spain.
I think they're putting an advert on now. I really shouldn't have that on behind me. That's going to be so distracting. Yeah, I live in Spain, and on the small town where I live. I don't know. Okay, I can't pay. It's an advert. I can't pay any attention to what's going on behind me because it's gonna make everything's gonna end up terrible. This final is brought to you by the Microsoft mouse. So if you search, anyway. So yeah, where I live on Spain, this weekend is a festival, and we have giant firework display. The kids are taking part in all sorts of events and stuff like that. So yeah, when I told my wife, it was like, oof. It didn't go down too well. I mean, it never goes. Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. Oh no, it's all right. I'm going to Paris. And it's like, what? What do you mean you're going to Paris without me? And it's like, well, yeah.
X-Wing again.
And she says like, well, no. But I'm like, well, I'm going to Paris, but it's not like I'm going to see anything. So all I'm going to see is this here the whole time. But anyway, we do see the Eiffel Tower just outside, huh?
Yes, but
you go just outside, you look to the right, and just over a brick wall which separates us from the Seine, from a plunge to our deaths, you can see the top part of the Eiffel Tower in the distance.
And what did you do last night?
Last night I went to bed and slept. Because last night I think I lost 3 kilos in sweat with the problems I had yesterday. Yes.
Here?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because I had so many problems with the equipment. That's neither here nor there. We shouldn't be talking about that now. It's just we went to dinner. I went to dinner with the organisational team, and they went to a restaurant that was right next to our hotel. So it's just like, right, straight in. The only thing I did do was a couple of changes to the software of errors that I saw pop up yesterday to kind of make it a bit better.
So you went to Paris and you didn't see Paris?
No. On the first day, I was planning on going to the Eiffel Tower and recording a little teaser, like saying, tomorrow we're going to do the French National Championship. Because typically when I do these events, I don't announce them. Because there's so much that can go wrong. For example, I might have missed my plane yesterday, on Friday. And if I miss my plane, I'm not going to get here, and there's not going to be a French National Championship. So if I spend a whole week saying, I'm going to the French National Championship, and I don't make it, then there's a problem. Okay, so I prefer to kind of keep them a bit more secret and just kind of like show up.
But you know that everybody knows you were going to be here.
The French people knew I was going to be
Yes,
here.
the French.
But the French community are very insular. Outside of the French community, not many people know what's happening.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. So that was for over here. Everyone knew I was going to be here, but outside, nobody knew I was going to be here.
peux me faire troller si j'utilise le téléphone.
Ok.
Adios.
Ouais, c'est bon.
Le lien du Twitch avant. Ah oui, j'avais pas reçu le mail à l'époque.
Ok.
Bah voilà, regarde, en direct. Hein.
Ouais.
Tu vois, et
Quelqu'un
on
qui
voit.
m'a texté des conseils.
Ça c'est cool.
C'est bon?
So, go on.
What do you think of this?
Of this matchup?
Yes.
Mm.
Because you went to the European and you saw Miranda, Lash, Dash, Libo.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody is surprised with that, and the American talk a lot about that.
It's true. The thing about well, I mean, one thing I'll go on record as saying is that for a long time, the European community, the European meta, has been excessively dismissed. It's starting to get its recognition now. Since Nantos won the World Championship in November, people have started paying a bit more, because of that November, half the top 16 at World Championship were European.
Exists.
Yeah. Up until that point, everybody else just kind of dismissed us. And I'll call people out, and I'll say it obviously. I mean, well, the Minoc podcast, they like their beef. I'll drop some beef here, and I'll turn around and say that for ages, they would talk about the Australian meta as being the second biggest meta, when really, let's face it, there's maybe 3, 4, 5 players that are world class in that in that area. I mean, we can name them.
Right.
Jared, Travis, Morgan, and well, I forget what his name is. I don't want to butcher it. No, there's a guy that's got like an Indian name that's from Australia. Oh, anyway. The thing is that, like, we've got so many world-class players, but the problem is it's so difficult to get to the United States to the World Championship for everyone. For example, in Spain, one of our best players, Mario Núñez, Negro Oscuro, who's won the national championship twice. And
with Twin Laser and
the same list 2 years in a row. The same list 2 years in a row. When
yeah.
everybody said that Twin Laser turret Y-wings were out of the meta with Jump Masters and Deadeye and everything like that, he just come along and won another World Champion, and it's like, I don't understand. Anyway, like for example, he will only go if he wins the championship, because it's too much of a cost to fly himself. He's not going to go for a hobby. He's not going to fly to the United States.
And I don't know if everybody is know that Nand had to make a fund collect to have the money to go to the world, because FFG didn't pay the
Nand,
and it was the champion in.
He was the champion in 2017, and because of the short turnaround, they weren't going to do the option where they pay for the travel and accommodation for the final. And so basically the answer was to do what was in the olden days called a telethon, you know. But now you use the internet and GoFundMe and stuff like that, which
was great.
Absolutely, it was amazing. And I also have to give a shout out to the community for the GoFundMe that they did for myself after the European Championships. That was basically amazed me at how high it got as well. And with the money that came from that, and you can come and see what I've got now, and you won't really notice any difference. But the thing was, is that before European Championships, this laptop and the camera that we're watching right now, that was on loan from a friend. And the laptop's worth about 1,200. The camera's worth about 800, and they were being lent to me by a friend. And now, with the money that I got from the GoFundMe, I was able to give him 950 euros, and he was happy with that. So for like 2,000 euros worth of equipment, I got for like 950. So it ended up being an absolute lifesaver, because if I hadn't have got the camera and this laptop, I wouldn't have been able to continue going.
I'm impressed with not only the money that your job represents, but the time you spend. Because I have a blog.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it takes a lot of time.
Yes.
And my wife is not always very happy with that.
Yeah. Well, I started out doing a blog. I started out with a blog, because where I live in Spain, nobody plays X-Wing. I have to go an hour and a half to play X-Wing. Well, no, that's a lie. There's one guy.
Where do you live?
This is if you've watched the channel enough, you know this already. And I've said it 20 times. But where I live in Spain, which is called Benicarlo, which you look up on the east coast of Spain, is halfway between Barcelona and Valencia. So where I live there,
it's populous.
Yeah, it's a town. I've got a town with like 80,000 people, and then another town 7 kilometers away with 80,000 people, and another town which in summer is like 200,000 people, but the rest of the year is like maybe 30,000. Anyway, the only person that plays X-Wing in that area, X-Wing as a game that they concentrate on, was one guy who lives in the next town, like 7 kilometers away. So I played with him for like about a year, and the thing was is that I really got into X-Wing, and it wasn't doing it for me that I would be able to play like a couple of games a week with him. So what I ended up doing was starting to watch videos on YouTube every single night,
like everybody,
because I had no other way of getting my fix of the game. So when I did after a while of doing that, I decided, right, what I'll do is because YouTube was useless for searching X-Wing videos, because you'd search X-Wing videos, you'd always get the same ones.
Yes.
And so I started doing a thing where what I'd do is I'd search all the new ones that went up each day, and I'd kind of put them on a blog as a kind of catalogue.
Yeah.
And I was tagging them to see which ships were in which. And it's more for me than anyone else to just try to be able to find what I was looking for. And then I ended up writing a blog and like saying, well, this video was good and stuff like that. And that's how I ended up meeting or finding out about a lot of the communities around the world, like the Australian community with the Fire Casual channel, the Italians with the X-Men Academy, which
Team Covenant.
Team Covenant, obviously. Team Covenant, I already knew about them. But you start finding about the other smaller communities around the world. Like I say, like the Italian community, I would never have known if I hadn't have deepened myself into the video community. And what that ended up doing was it caused me to take to watch so many videos and kind of sit there and say, oh, well, this is a good thing that they've done, or that's a bad thing that they've done, and sit there and go, or for example, when people, and when in those days as well, hardly anyone did a live stream. I think the first live stream of X-Wing was done by some guys from Atlanta, Georgia, in a shop called FCB Comics and Games, where they did their store championship. And I remember this store doesn't exist anymore. And if I look on my phone, I'd be able to find out the name of the guy that did it. But it's not important. Well, it's important. It's important to me.
Yes,
his name was Brandon. I know his name was Brandon, but I spent some time talking to him. Anyway, there was nobody really doing it. But like, when you did watch them, it was like, okay. So one of the first things that you'll know about my channel is that the red and the yellow bases.
Yes.
Yeah. And that was like one of the first
the
things.
dice are yours too.
Those are mine, yeah. No, the dice aren't mine. Dice aren't mine. No, the dice are the players'
dice.
dice.
Are yours.
Yeah. No, the dice aren't mine.
No.
Why?
Why?
Because I'm already asking the players to use my bases and my damage deck. If I ask them to use my dice, and the thing is, you know what people are like with dice.
Yes.
Yeah, they'll blame the dice. Okay. A funny story. We'll get into that in a minute. So when you watch these stream videos, if you can come in at any point, like for example, some people will be tuning in right now.
Yes.
Yeah. And when you tune in the middle of a game and there's like 4 Imperial ships against 4 Imperial ships, and they're all mixed up in the center of the board, you don't know whose is whose, and it takes you about 2-3 turns to work it all out.
This one is.
So that's where the basis came from, and that was done in June 2015, when I was in hospital. My wife had just given birth. And we'd said that she was gonna let me go and do the Valencian Regional, which was in 2 weeks.
Yes.
And I was like, right, well then I'm gonna paint some bases up. And so I was in at the foot of the hospital bed with bases masked around the top, and with acrylic paint painting the bottom of them. Yeah, because I wanted to make sure that you knew whose ships were whose as soon as you tuned in.
Yellow one is this one, and
exactly, because when you've got a mirror list. Like I say,
yes,
it can take you a couple of turns before you get 100% certain about what's going on.
Okay.
And so we did that. What was the other thing? The second thing was the damage cards, making the damage cards with that little code thing so that I can recognise them from far away. That was a big deal as well.
And the player had your damage card?
The players use my damage cards.
Okay.
And on the damage card is a little picture.
Yes. I saw that a symbol.
But I'm just realising there is.
So we can now. Which one is the damage card?
So
the critical one.
You can see it on the camera.
Exactly.
Everyone thinks when they see it, it's like a QR code that the camera captures it.
When I saw that the first time, I thought it was from FFG.
No.
From the Open.
No.
And I said, oh, I want to have this one. This is the big damage card I want to have.
These are. What was it? Who did that?
Yours.
Who did that? I put the damage deck on. Just before the European Championships, I put this page on my Facebook page so that people at home can work out as well.
It's great.
Without having to rely on us. And people said, oh, where do I get this damage deck from? I said, well, you come to an event where I am and you steal it. But please don't do that.
Which one is the?
So right now this is you got English here, old damage deck and new damage deck, and on this side and then here you got
double
Spanish.
Hit, direct hit, this one.
Direct hit.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
So what
great.
you end up doing is you end up recognizing that symbol, that symbol, that symbol, yeah, and it becomes really easy. Yeah. If it wasn't because there were 2 damage decks, I would have been able to memorize it.
Yes, of course.
Because I did this
you
right before the second damage deck.
Already, which one is the crit?
But the problem is that when you get into the fact that you've got like major hull breach and major hull breach, you might get confused between which of the 2 you're remembering. So I had to do the sheet to help me because it was too much work.
But both players now use the
using
new one.
my damage deck.
But
the new one,
the fourth.
I've got 6 damage decks over there.
Okay.
I've got 2 old ones and 4 new ones. Yeah.
Why 4?
Well, no, because okay. Why 4? You say that, but then in this tournament, things have been really easy for me. But in other tournaments, I don't get much time between games. Okay, so when you see that when we start the video, I lay all the cards out on the table so that everyone can see the whole damage deck is there. Because I'm asking the players to use my material, and I don't want any question to be like, oh, he gave them a damage deck that was badly shuffled, or that didn't have all the cards in it, or they'd taken out some of the direct hits and put some more stunned pilots in there. Yeah. So I laid all the cards out so everyone can see it, and to do that takes about 5 minutes.
Yes.
And sometimes I don't have that time.
Yeah.
So for that sort of situation, I have another copy of the new damage deck. I was very lucky to get 2 of the open ones, the Darth Vader ones.
That's why during the European I saw the video, and I didn't understand why there was so much damage card in the table, and I understand now because you already have everything prepared.
Yeah, exactly. So you go around the back there, and you'll see there's like an old damage on each side of the table. Both decks have a sticker on the back, red and yellow, so they don't get mixed up.
I saw that.
And so the old damage, if someone ever shows up with the old damage deck, I'm like, no problem, here's the old damage deck. And if I've got the new damage deck, which is proven to be, for example, yesterday and today, I've not had to pull out the old damage decks ever. Okay, we've got combat going on.
Yes,
now.
So one maybe.
I can see 2 hits, and maybe this one might be behind dash, might be a focus, and a focus from the reroll. So he's got to have got 4 hits, I guess.
3.
So you reckon that one's blank behind dash? And there's 2 blanks and a focus. Spends the evade token. Those 2. Okay. Loses shields on Vader. And I'm just realizing, just as the point gets to the point where I've got to do something, this thing dies and won't work. So the screen overlay is not being updated at the moment. The time isn't advancing. The shields aren't being removed. I'll wait until we get to a planning phase to be able to play it. Right, we're on a planning phase now. Let's go try and fix this.
J'aurais dû y penser avant. D'habitude, j'essaie d'anticiper ce genre de choses. Arrête. Tiens, mais on a ces petites belles.
So yeah, I was lucky enough to get 2 of the open damage decks without having to pay for them.
I hate you.
Yeah, and then I go and deface them by putting stickers all over them, and everyone goes like, "Well, now they're not worth anything." I know. And I've got an open damage deck as well, the Darth Vader damage deck that I'm slowly having people sign it. So I'm hoping to get some signatures today. Actually, speaking of which, I'd like to get Pack to sign one. Let me switch this over to Studio and just double check this has been.
I'm impressed with your videos.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Even it's very hard work, huh?
When I heard that you were coming to the National France Championship.
What did you do? Go on. You can't just leave us
I
hanging.
thought, thank you for France, because I know that you are in Spain, you make a lot of video in Spain, and you went to the European, and it was great to see, thanks to you, because FFG didn't make any streaming, but you were there, and thanks to you, we all saw the European Championship. It was great.
The one thing I can say with regards to streams is that there is some difficulty regarding as adverts coming on the stream. There is some difficulty with FFG, with Lucasfilm regarding live streams. Okay, so there's a lot of the times you won't get official FFG streams because of some little contract thing that makes it difficult for them.
Money.
Yeah, I mean, Fantasy Flight and Nor Asmodee are large as far as we're concerned, but they're nowhere near the level of money of Lucasfilm. Okay, and there's a different level. Okay, there's only so much they can do.
What?
They're working on it. They're trying. They're trying to, because obviously this is a big marketing tool.
Yes, of course.
Absolutely. And that's part of the reason why they were so keen to have me here. It was going to be Asmodee's first European French national championship before it was run by Edge, and they wanted to make a big deal out of it, and they wanted to make sure that marketing was handled.
Of course.
And the stream is bad today and delayed compared to what we're used to on this channel, but we man up and we soldier on. Okay, because I could have broken down yesterday crying and thrown myself into the river. I didn't. So yeah,
excuse me, but
go on.
we had a first combat round. What do you think of this meta? You saw the Spain meta, which is a huge one because Spanish players are very good player. They have a huge community. Very good player.
They have a huge community. That's true. They have very good players, but the problem is that I think that lately it's kind of stagnated a little bit. They need to put a bit more effort into it. They're not doing as well as they used to. For example, at European Championships, we had a large number of people go to European Championships, and Juan made the top 8 from Barcelona, Juan del Rio, and he was on the top 8 game that we recorded. Was it top 16? I don't remember. Anyway, he made the top, I think it was top 8. And apart from that, I think we only had one other guy make it into the top 50. And so, I mean, it's difficult because it's
slow
traveling and
for
stuff
you.
like that. Yeah, and basically what I'm saying is that your community, you can't rest on it. They have to work constantly. And I think what happened is we got into a situation where, because now, 2 years ago, Spain were the biggest community without a doubt in the whole of Europe, and it kind of stagnated there. And now the question is, the British have come up a lot, the Polish have come up a lot, the Germans are doing very large tournaments as well.
But I think that the Polish won the ETC.
Yes, the European Team Championship has been won by Poland players.
And the second one was the British one.
They came second place.
Second place.
The England team.
The England,
Yeah.
And France wasn't there.
France wasn't there, which was a shame.
A shame.
There's nothing to be snarked at. I mean, I've always said is that it's a non-official tournament, so there's not going to be as much interest. It's only really the crazy people that want to do that sort of thing.
And I think the problem is the same with the Worlds. It's a lot of money to go to another country. The plane.
Yes, but you say that, and then you say, right, France to Madrid to Salamanca. It's not too bad.
No, it's not too bad, but you need time.
Yeah.
You need to have a wife to be
a beautiful wife who's very, very happy with everything she's got in life and has no reason to complain.
You understand me?
Yeah, absolutely.
And but the major problem is the money. A lot of the players need time and to pay the travel, the place to rest.
So, one focus result, and it looks like no damage on that first attack. From that bomblet, isn't it? Is that what we're doing?
Vader is without shields.
Who?
Vader?
Vader's, already had no shields.
Vader,
I think he's just taken
my accent is very awful.
3 or 4 shields off of the Lambda. We're just going to deactivate this. 2 shields from the Lambda.
And continuing with the Spanish people, I heard that the Spanish were very more rebel than other countries.
It depends. No, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that at all.
Because I'm very surprised to see a Lambda in the final here. in the French final.
Really? Because the French are more rebel, or?
No, because in the world meta you didn't see any lambda.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Don't worry about it. I'll get someone eventually. We're here for about another 90 minutes, basically. No.
No.
Someone will come close enough, and I'll take care of it. Okay, so.
And in the last dance con, the Imperial were very bad.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, when you look at when we got through to the top here today, top 32, we had 10 Imperial lists, 10 Scum lists, and 12 Rebel lists. So that's more or less an even split, really.
Yes.
So I mean, it was not. This is one of the things we were talking about this the other night, okay? And we said we were discussing about how it's always the community is always complaining about what's the major list at the time, what's the most powerful list, what's and I turned around and said, well, the thing is that you go look back in the last year, the last 18 months, and the quote-unquote power list has changed. Every 3 months it's changed.
Yes.
So you had the triple jump masters with Deadeye, and then Defenders showed up. And then they got rid of the Dengaru showed up. Dengaru, Defenders, Paratani, Jump Masters with Atani,
the four Fantastic.
And the thing is that I mean, in the grand scheme of things, in the grand scheme of things, that's not that bad. That every 3 months,
it's great.
Something new takes the throne. Of course, what happens is that those top lists are so difficult to beat that the players become frustrated, and it's basically the same boogeyman. I mean, it's like right now we're looking at the 2 boogeyman lists, the NIM with cruise missiles. These are the 2 lists that everyone's scared of, and it's because they're powerful lists and they do win games. But 3 months ago, it wasn't these lists winning games; it was other lists. But they were also lists that were highly powerful, and certain people are just not even able to make ground on them. And that's where the people are complaining. The problem is that from a company level at FFG, they're going to see that every single 3 months the discussion changes, and they're just going to see it as being petulant shouting. Yeah. So it's like a child. I want that. I want that. I want that. I want that. Because every 3 months is like, in January it was like, oh my God, you've got to nerf Defenders. Oh my God, you've got to nerf Palpatine. In February it was like, oh my God, you've got to nerf Paratani. Oh my God, you've got to nerf this. And then in March it was like, oh my God, you've got to nerf the other thing. And it's like, well, you can't. It's not constructive. And so the issue is that they see that it's changing every 3 months, and I think honestly, because we were also talking about if you go back 2 years, we would have a FAQ every 3 months like clockwork.
I'm right. You're right.
But now it's getting to the point where 6 months. The last real FAQ was in March.
Yes.
And if you go look at the fact the last date is for June, but that's because they changed that silly little thing on the C-Rock and the titles on the aggressor. But
all the people here, all the players were very afraid of a new FAQ before this championship, and I'm really happy that there was no FAQ.
Yeah. Well, for multiple reasons, personally. Like I say, the playtester community had some problems, and I would guess they've tried to solve those problems now. Exactly. But the thing was that you had issues with the playtester community leaked. So the FAQ, it's been 8 months since we had a real FAQ. I'm stretching a bit. It's 6 months. But like we're getting on. If it doesn't come out soon, then it's going to have been 8 months since we had the proper FAQ, and where it nerfed Palpatine, X7, Manaru, and all that sort of other stuff. Now, the issue is that with the thing changing so rapidly, they're scared to nerf Atani, because today there's been no Atani.
That's why there was the FAQ leak. That everybody is
but the
aware
FAQ hasn't come into effect.
Yes, it was a great thing.
My point is that when I went into the opens, Atani was everywhere. Today, no Atani. Nim everywhere.
Without any fact.
Yeah,
You
Nim
don't need-
everywhere.
you don't need
And
the
so
fact
they're
to say.
scared to fact. They're scared to do the fact.
Yes, it's
Because they don't want to do something, for example, like they did with...
Palpatine.
well, no, Palpatine hasn't really been that much different. Well, there was another
I don't
example.
think that Palpatine was a good nerf.
No?
No, I don't think he need a nerf. Manaru, yes.
Oh, Manaru I thought was a
Defender.
bad nerf here. I thought Manaru was a bad nerf. Palpatine, I can kind of accept it. 2 hits, 1 evade,
Yes,
that ship goes
but-
down. What? Well, we weren't paying any attention because I had no idea that ship was that close to death. This is what happens when you get good conversation with X-Wing mixed up. And ships just go off the board before you even notice. And
Whoa, the Lambda is out.
yeah, Lander's dead. As a doornail. So one of the situations was that you had the, for example, Manaru was a bad nerf in my opinion. It's not that it was a bad nerf as much; it was a drastic nerf, and basically Manaru disappeared because of it. So it's a
Yes.
good example of what I'm trying to say is that they're scared to do a fact because Manaru was like, and I did a little funny photo at the time where I put a picture of a woman running free on the beach, and then afterwards on all fours with a dog collar on. 'Cause it was like, it wasn't just like they turned around and said, "No, you're a bit too strong." It was like, "No, you stayed there."
Yeah.
It was
And
like,
you don't move.
you went from range everywhere to range one.
One.
Like range 1, 2, I might have gone, that makes sense, but range 1 was like
Too much.
drastic. And that's more what I'm trying to get, is that they're scared to make that kind of a modification. And so, for example, the stuff that was leaked about the FAQ was probably stuff that had been a good deal of time being tested. Since at least March, when the last FAQ came out, and we only found out about it in August when it got leaked. So, my opinion is that...
It was in August, the leak?
it was only a couple of weeks ago, wasn't it? Or at the end of July.
In July, yes,
Yeah.
in July. But I think it was a good thing, this leak, because a lot of discussion about that, and if the leak was real, I'm really happy that it doesn't happen,
Yeah?
because the leak was.
Well, we don't know, do we? It may still happen.
Yes,
That's the problem.
Yes, that's the problem. Yeah.
Now we all live in fear of our lords and masters. When are they going to take the toys away? No, I mean there's a lot to be said. Is that yes? For example, the punishing one, the jump master has a problem. How do you fix it? I don't know.
The jump
But-
pass, yes, but not Dengar.
No, yeah, absolutely.
Not the
But
title.
Dengar always goes with the title anyway, and
Yes,
that's why
that's-
that was the supposed fix that they were trying to do.
And the real problem is with the new chips, because you had a precedent with the Jump Master, it's very good one with a very good dial.
Yeah.
And the new chips are not as good.
Yeah. Well, no. I mean, well,
It's very
Nim
cheap for that.
Nim and Lorik. So.
But Nim is.
What we're talking more about here is that there's a before and after, and it's like kind of like the way that Star Wars is the calendar is split up around the Battle of Yavin. They kind of treat it like AC and BD.
Yeah.
Was it BC and AD? No, is that, or as we should say correctly now in this modern era, we should say before modern era and after modern era, or during modern era. And Star Wars similarly split up around the Battle of Yavin. The X-Wing miniatures game will be split up around before the Jump Master and after
After
Jump
the
Master.
Jump Master, yes.
Because what happens
You're
is
right.
the Jump Master comes out, and then the new ships that come out after the Jump Master have to be at the same level, if not more powerful than Jump Master, which ends up leaving the ships from before further down the ladder, and that's where we end up with the issue of power.
But the good thing is that the new ships. How can I say that? We didn't see a lot of Jump Master now in this national championship.
No.
And we had a lot of Nim. So if I can trade Jump Master for Nim, I think it's a good thing. I don't know.
There were still plenty of Dengar Nim around, huh? I've seen 3.
Because Dengar is a good chip, and I think Dengar is good. The Jump Master has a problem with the dial, but not Dengar.
Okay.
Because you have to give Dengar the title, and it's a good cause for that.
Okay.
nobody will play Nîmes with a jump master VP free.
No, of course not. The contracted scout.
You take Dengar.
Yeah.
And you have to put the title. So I think it's a good trade.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
it still demonstrates a problem. Is
Yes.
what we're getting at. Yeah.
Of course.
Okay. So here we've got Julien is now closing into range of Nîmes. We've got himself very close to flying off the board.
And continuing with the fact, we're seeing now the Vader in the final of 160 players.
Yeah.
And I'm very happy to see Darth Vader in the final.
Mm-hmm.
It's a ship who is not so good as the TIE SF, but is in final.
Oh yeah, I mean with the missile slot and the new missiles.
So you can arrange things with some cards.
Yeah.
The missile can do a lot of things.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot to be taken into account, especially with as more and more ships come out, more and more cards exist. The possibilities become more complicated.
And maybe you don't need so much fac.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay. So
I am rubber in the heart, so I'm happy to see the rubber in the final.
Right, okay.
But I'm happy to see Imperials coming back because you need that the force will be in balance.
So the cruise missiles get spent, and
yes, 5 dice.
4 hits. No, 3 hits, a focus, and a blank. And he gets 2 more.
Whoa.
Target lock, so that's 5 hits going into Captain Nîmes. Roll
Only
those
one
green dice.
one green.
And Nicolas starts to see stars, I imagine. A focus. I'm seeing everything except 1 shield gone.
1 crit.
Where's a crit? I don't see a crit. No. Oh yeah, there is. He's got. How'd that get in there? If he's got 1 shield. Oh no, he's taken all the shields off. Okay, there's some sort of piece of the art that looks like a shield, and it's a blinded pilot.
Aye.
Bad news, Nîmes. And that's why they call it an alpha strike.
Yes. I lost my round in the top 32 because of the alpha strike.
Yeah.
I didn't get that right and I lost the game.
Is this another cruise missile? It's like 2 hits and a crit. So,
wow.
So okay,
another one.
Console fire.
Only 2.
And Nîmes left with 2 hull points.
2 hull points.
Where'd that damage, that face-up damage card come from?
From
but he hadn't removed the shield.
I think Vader took off all the shields and Quick Draw made 2 more hits.
And so yeah, 3 damage cards anyway.
Only
I
2
can't really
kill
commentate
on
because it's not like I was paying 100. Okay, crisis averted. I wasn't paying 100% attention, and I just did something very stupid. Yeah. In France, they give you beer.
Yes. It's not beer. It's beer, but it's like wine.
Beer makes things go wrong. Okay, let me try and put this back on. That was unexpected. Okay, up you get. There we go. I'm back to operational. Okay. So they're on dials. So a big deal in that round, getting Nîmes down to 2 hull points with those 2 attacks. And especially the luck that blinded pilot was come out and makes it impossible for Nim to attack back, giving Julien the opportunity to just attack that round bite without receiving any return fire.
Did Dash take any damage? No. I don't think so.
I'm seeing that Vader's got 2 damage cards. And my application's crashed. Which probably has something to do with the microphone falling on it. So Vader's got 2 damage cards. Dash I don't think has any damage. I can still see his shield tokens here. Look. Shield tokens. Let's go back to the main view.
Only 1 heal on Darth Vader. And Nim is 2 heal left. Quick draw is full.
And Dash Rendar's got 4 tokens, shield tokens.
So 1 shield left.
It might be, but I don't. There might be 2 stacked up there. It's hard to say. Yes. We'll wait and see when things change a bit more.
Okay.
And I'm noticing that the timer isn't advancing, or it is advancing, but slowly. Okay. So everything's working after the microphone incident.
What do you think of the French meta? Like,
to be honest, it was what I expected. A lot of Nim, the outstanding examples have been present, but for example, like the guy like Yon, who won last year, his 3 TIE fighter list, 2 SFs and a FO, a Mega Leader, Quick Draw and Backdraft. That's an interesting list, but apart from that, well, especially when we got into top 32, there was a lot of Nim. And it's kind of like what I expected, to be honest. And the cruise missile alpha is there, but was in its minority. Most of the Imperials weren't cruise missile alpha. There was some other combination.
So you think, thanks to the cruise missile, the Imperial can come back?
With the TIE SF and the TIE Advance, they've got 2 platforms that are very capable. They've got 2 platforms that are very capable in this meta.
But Darth Vader. Yes.
Yeah, but I'm saying that's what I just said. The TIE Advanced and the TIE SF.
Yes, but
I'm not sure what you're trying to get at. Are you trying to say that what does Darth Vader have to do?
I'm very surprised to see Darth Vader because the TIE Advance, it's not a so good chip. You can do something.
Darth Vader is here because he's pilot skill 9.
Yes.
Because the person that made Darth Vader leave the meta was the Inquisitor. Because the Inquisitor was Darth Vader but better. Because he had the title to get a free target lock evade. He had auto thrusters that Darth Vader doesn't have. He got the free dice every single turn, and he could still spend the target lock. So that it was the Inquisitor that made Darth Vader leave the meta. Now what's happening is that the Inquisitor still is there and can still take the missiles, but because at most he's got a pilot skill level of 10, which doesn't manage to beat Nim, and that's where this is coming down to. You've got to go PS11 or go home, which is a shame because those of us that have been in the game for more than 2 years know what the pilot skill wars can be like.
Yes.
Yeah, when Whisper was at the height of her game, and it was you have to be PS10 or nothing.
Or nothing.
And now we're seeing with Captain Nim, you've got to be PS11 or nothing, or you lose the game. We were talking earlier about if we had a final between the 2 cruise missile lists. The most important role of the game was the initiative.
Initiative, yeah. Yes. Well, the meta is like that. You go up, down.
The meta is always flowing. I mean, and you can say that like the meta is something that that isn't fixed. It changes constantly. It's not the meta by its own definition is like in flux always. The situation is more a case of what is possible to do and what do we understand to be able to do, you know? So, for example, when a list like Paratani comes out of nowhere, which we were able to play that list, the same as Dengaroo. Dengaroo, when the Jumpmaster came out, I listened 4 months later when Dengaroo was a big thing. I went back and listened to the podcast of when the Jumpmaster come out and listened to everyone sitting there and saying, yeah, Manaroo I don't see being much good. And then when they would discuss Dengar, they were going, yeah, well, Dengar's obviously good for his 2-ship build, but I'm not sure who you'd put with him. There's Scum doesn't really have anybody that would go with him. And then Jeff Berlin comes out and finds the golden combo. And everyone's just got to sit there and go, okay, well, for the next 3 months, this is what you've got to deal with, you know? And so...
And Nand won the World Championship.
Of course. And Nand got a lot of stick for that as well. Nand was not happy. And shout out to Nand. He and so that's where next year he went with Rebel Jank and still made the final.
Against Paratani.
Because when you win one championship, even if it's a big one like Worlds, there is still a doubt that people were like, yeah, but you were lucky or you were playing the good list.
Is he really a good player?
He is really a good player.
Yeah, and he's a good player.
He is. What's the word here? What's the word? For example, Paul Heaver is a very statistical player.
Yes.
He looks at things and goes, I'm going to go with that, and that's because that's the most optimal option at this moment. Whereas Nand is a more of a kind of a instinct player. So he kind of like makes up his mind on the spot and tries to pick what's the best. So that can cause a lot of variance. You can have like bad games, you can have good games, right? But he's someone who's been able to,
by feeling
correctly, identify what is the correct situation to do, and so he flies by the seat of his pants. He's kind of a Han Solo to the what would be the opposite? What would be the dash? No. The kind of pilot is more statistical, like Paul Heaver, for example. Paul Heaver is famous for doing his spreadsheet analysis of lists.
I had a chance to chat with Nand after the World Championship he won, and he told me he played Dengaroo before the World intensively, and he liked very much this list because he's like his kind of game, very aggressive.
Yeah.
And when I saw him with the Rebel list, and he won against three combat in a row against Paratani.
Yeah.
I said respect.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's a good player.
He's a good player. No one expected him to get to the semi-final, to the final.
And nobody expected to see him in the final.
Yeah, I'm just noticing that my software.
And he lost against Dengar.
Yeah. When he came to my software's not updating, so I'm trying to do something to try and force it to get back on track. When
Dash is full?
I'm double checking everything now. Okay, this is not going. Switch it off, switch it back on. This one. Okay.
Vas-y.
Okay.
Un léger.
Dash lost 2 shields. Okay. So,
sorry.
When he came to play at the Tatooine Open, because Nand came to play at the Tatooine Open, and basically because he was only going to be world champion for a short period of time, and he had to try and make the most out of that. Like I'm going to show up to a tournament and I'm the world champion. And if he, in the 6 months that he was going to be world champion, he only shows up for like local store events in Belgium and Astot or whatever it's called where he lives.
And he lost someone.
Yeah, no, he did pretty bad at the Tatooine Open. That's to be defended. But in his defence, his list that he bought was basically because they just nerfed Manaroo, and he was going to bring the world championship list but they nerfed it.
Yes.
Okay, so the thing was like, well, you know, I've got to try and represent what I played at the World Championship, what I won with. I'm the World Champion with the Dengaroo list. So he actually, I had him on stream. What's up?
Name is out.
Why isn't it not updated? That was ages ago. Okay, thank you.
And
Okay.
quick draw has
One damage card, I have that, and
card.
2 damage cards on Vader, and Dash Rendar has 3 shields. So that's okay. There's gonna be all sorts of complaints in the chat right now saying that we're not paying any attention to the game. Don't worry about that.
you can say it's because of me.
No, because everyone at home can pay attention to the game. Everyone at home can pay attention to the game and find out what's going on.
I'm the first.
So this
to,
is more
to
kind of
pay
like
attention.
the commentary is something to make it a bit more interesting. So I mean, we can talk about anything. Some people prefer that we talk about the game. I'm not really 100% behind that opinion. And so he came to the Tatooine Open with, and I was lucky enough to be able to see the list. Okay, here we go.
2 hits.
One of them is like a crit.
Whoa, Lone
2
Wolf.
focus results. No, 1 evade, focus, and evade. 2 focuses and evade. 2 evades and a focus, you say. And looks like there's no damage applied.
So quick draw.
3 hits. +1 for Vader. 2 evades.
Spend
He
the
takes
focus.
2.
One
Okay.
shield.
1 shield he's got left. It takes a while. It gets there.
Okay.
It gets there.
Only 1 shield left on dash.
4 hits.
Whoa.
And dash, and it's like an evade and a blank. Maybe it's like there's a lot of that's the focus about result. That one's evade, that one's focus. So quick draws off the board.
Only 1 you'll left on Darth Vader. No, Darth Vader is out.
No, quick draws out.
Quick draw is out.
Darth Vader's still there, 1 hull point against 6 hull point dash. Oh, 5 hull points and a shield dash.
Wow.
And they go back to Darth. So it looks like we're getting to the end of this game. And all we've done is chat. But to finish the conversation, Nand came to the Tatooine Open.
Yes.
And his list, he actually printed out, actually the title of the list, the name of the list was Dengar Cheats on Manaroo. And because he took because Manaroo just got nerfed,
yes.
and he wanted to kind of represent the World Championship list that he played.
So
he took Dengar with Asajj.
a good list.
A good list. Didn't work out so well for him on the day. We managed to stream his 1 game, and he played against a Thai Swarm player, one of the better Thai Swarm players of Spain. And
I love Asajj.
Yeah.
No, I'm wrong. I love the cruiser, the ship.
The other Lancer.
Yeah, the Lancer. I love it, but it's true that even if it's a good ship, you don't see the ship in the top tier. But Dengar is here still, and I really think about the fact that the Jump Master with the new ships and the cruiser missiles and NIM, I don't think if you really need a nerf to the Jump Master now. Because everybody talk about the 4 robots, the 4 fantastic, Lorik. You think the Jump Master needs a nerf?
The Jump Master is kind of like the bigs. It's always going to be a boogeyman in the meta. And, and there's argument that Lorik only got released because they were planning to nerf bigs as well, and yet didn't manage to nerf him yet. Because of certain factors.
You think
I think Biggs is
on?
Biggs is going to get nerfed.
You think Biggs needs a nerf?
I think Biggs is going to get nerfed.
But which one?
Which nerf? Oh,
only one time.
People discuss once per turn. Can they see? Oh, right, okay. Because they're way behind us. I think once per turn. He only applies once per turn. That's what I think is going to happen. Biggs can only, it's kind of like a draw their fire sort of thing. You can only be once a turn.
But with the last Gen Con, a lot of people said that Curran need a nerf.
Corin needs a... No, it'd be so stupid. Because Nathan need one.
Yeah.
But Nathan's been playing Corin for 3 years. And
But who expect to see Curran in the final of the Gen Con?
Because Nathan
and won
Eid-
the nerf and won the Gen Con. It was great.
Nathan Eid, tournament that he goes to, tournament that he makes top. Always.
Always.
And that kid never misses top.
With Curran.
And always plays with Corin. And it's kind of like that when you discuss the meta, you've got to turn around and say, like, for example, in the meta in Spain, for example, after the Tatooine Open or this national that we had last year, we had a couple of ships make the top, for example, that were 4 X-wings. And people would turn around and say, don't say the meta's like closed, it's wide open. 4 X-Wings made the top. And then when you speak to the guy who played the 4 X-Wings, he played 4 X-Wings for like 4 years straight.
Yes.
Yeah? So of course he's like got it down and he knows what to do with it.
The player who is playing Darth Vader is playing Darth Vader for 2 years now.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
I can imagine.
he knew the ship, he knew the dia, and it's in the final.
And he knows what his weak points are and how to make sure to minimize
and
it.
the cruise missiles give him a bonus.
Yeah.
So I like the T-65, but did the ship need a nerf? I don't know.
Yeah.
Because if you play the ship for 2 years, maybe you can make top tier.
Yep,
but the problem is that a lot of people don't have the time to play 2 years again cheap. So you took.
No, that's not true. It's not that people don't have the time; it's that people don't have the commitment. Because they will, you'll play. If, for example, you and myself, when we play, if we try and play Darth Vader for 2 years, we'll get bored and we'll switch to something else.
You're right.
These people, they like that thing so much that they're just going to keep going, and they have to keep going until it's ready to go.
I think we are looking for the last round of the final.
Yeah, absolutely. This isn't going to last much longer. That said,
it's Dash against Darth Vader.
We have already seen today a Darth Vader with 1 hull point last a long time. So let's just wait and see, because this can.
And Dash is.
As long as
with
Julien is able to keep himself at range 1 of Dash,
it's safe.
He has nothing to worry about, which is what we saw earlier in the top 8 game.
But Nicolas is a good player, so maybe.
I mean, right now, Vader's facing the other way, so this is probably going to be the end of the game. Here.
Now Dash is going to fire, and Vader can shoot back.
No.
With only 1 hull left.
He's going to pick his actions very carefully. Maybe he's going to try and barrel roll to the right, left, and get out of range.
I'm rebel, but
boosting.
But
boosting forward to the left. To the
but
right.
I'm happy if the rebel won the.
Look at it, there we go. He's trying to get out of range, and let's see.
Won
if
the
that
final,
worked.
yes.
And I think
Out of range.
I think he's out of range.
Yes, I think that.
Non, je suis content de mon truc. Je savais que tu allais faire ça et je me suis dit qu'avec grosse barrière, ça passait. Aucun autre move n'avait d'intérêt pour toi.
¿Viste que habían 2 chilenos en el torneo? 2 entre los top 30.
There was one of my friends is a Chilean people one, and I'm Chilean too, and there was the 2 Chilean were in the top 32.
Okay, well done.
So we are very happy.
Yeah, the 2 French Chilean X-Wing players made the top cut.
And one of my other friends was in the World Championship and in the European, and so I say hello to him.
Oh, okay.
So no shoot this round.
No, last round. They're already moving the next round now. So, yeah, he's trying to make sure he closes that range gap without giving too much distance, because he doesn't want the Thai advance to be able to get into range 1. Which right now, let's see, if he was to do, alright, so he's going backwards. So if he was to do a free turn, boost, barrel roll forward as much as possible, I think he'd still be stuck in range 2.
But the next round, I think it will be in range.
So this is gonna be. It's gonna take a lot of effort to get out of out of range.
Because even if his Vader is VP 11, he can shoot first, but he can die very quickly.
That's why he's got to get into range 1, be able to avoid fire at all opportunity.
Maybe after this match, Dash will need a nerf.
Yeah, nerf Dash, nerf Cora, nerf Lebo.
I'm very happy to see ships from the wave 3, Dash and Darth Vader.
Dash is wave 5.
5. Well,
Vader is wave 1. Yeah. But so Vader advanced targeting computer is wave 7.5. Came out after the TLT.
But we are already in the wave 12.
Wait, it came out just before the TLT. I'm sorry, it came out after wave 6. Wait, yeah.
6?
So it came at Darth Vader with the title came out just after wave 6.
6.
Yeah.
So that's why I love this game.
Yeah.
Because you can out of range.
I don't know. I think there's like some contact there.
Maybe.
Judge says no.
No, out of range.
And they go back to dial. So Vader lives to speak another day, to force choke another day.
Very.
Back. You don't leave. I want to speak to you. And Francois as well. I've got to get Francois. Is it Francois Lee?
Here we got a good lesson of pilot skill.
What did you say?
Of how.
A lesson for pilot skill. Okay.
A lesson of pilot skill.
Right. Okay. Yeah. And how pilot skill can change
because
the game.
One
the
thing
ability of Vader to be able to see where Dash is, reposition, and try and make sure to get out of range. Yeah. Like in that case, he barrel rolled backwards.
And Darth Vader need to be out of range, and it will not be so easy.
So
we're going to see now.
He's going to barrel.
Maybe the
barrel roll. Yeah. Because Dash is making it difficult. He's staying right in the middle of that board space, stepping on those debris tokens.
There is still 1 hour left of the game.
On Darth Vader, yes.
So
Darth Vader, you can see down here on the bottom left of the screen, there's 2 damage cards. And
so Darth Vader is in range now.
Dash still has one shield token. You're asking, Darth Vader is in range now of Dash.
And even if he shoot first, he
doesn't stand much chance.
He will have a shoot back.
No problem. The English is not a problem. The reason why we've come to the French national, when you come to France, you've got to expect that the English isn't going to be too good. To be honest with you, stop hitting me. Stop. No, absolutely. It was important to me that we had something on French in the final, commentating, even if our commentary has just been a conversation about X-Wing. But to be able to get a snapshot of what the French X-Wing community and experience is like, that's been the most important thing. The opinions that pervade the community and the meta are what was important to me, and so I could have gone and got one of the English guys that are around or one of the Polish guys to come and commentate. But I wanted to try and get someone's French.
Thanks. So Vader first. Range 1.
Range 1.
3 dice, so range 1. So
wow, so he made it. Okay, so now things get serious.
Great.
And he gets
Lone
a
Wolf.
blank. Lone Wolf repeats, and he's only got 1 paint on there, so its shield token comes off,
Ooh.
and 2 cards go on.
And
that's
one
a
crit.
damage. What is it? Oh, where's it?
Here.
Oh,
Chaque fois que tu exécutes une manœuvre,
Which one is?
loose stabilizer.
So
avec le marqueur critique sur ton vaisseau.
And he got
1 stress after right movement.
yeah.
Ça se flippe, ça.
But
Sur une action.
yes.
Yeah, he got 1 evade, 4 damagement on, 1 shield, 2 damage cards, 1's a crit.
So now the Imperial one is winning.
Not
He had,
winning, but he's got a favourable engagement.
Yes.
Yeah. Once he's in range 1,
But
dash,
he had half of the dash points.
he has half dash points. He's 73 to 62. He's winning on points, but there's still an hour left of the game.
Yes.
Okay.
A lot of time.
Yeah, so that's not the issue. But the issue is that Dash in this case does not have the engine upgrade. Okay, so escaping isn't so much of an option for Dash right now. What he does have is the burnout slam. So at any moment he can just go whoosh and disappear.
Out.
Right? But we've seen Vader can maintain himself out of range and suddenly get himself into range 1 when you least expect it. That's what we saw in the top 8 game where we had with Dale Cromwell against
Je pense qu'ils ont entendu.
against Jeremy? No. We watched Dale against Jeremy or Francois. I don't know. Anyway, we
last
watched
game
him
was
play, and his Alpha Strike failed completely, and then spent the next half hour with Vader and Quick Draw, slowly going out of range and making it to the point. Vader on 1 hull point for more than 40 minutes of the game, and winning the game in the end. So it can be done. I don't know what the piece of paper's got to do with anything.
And now Dash is only 3 here left.
Yep.
And
At least because
Darth Vader shoot first, so he can.
yeah, this has just put the game on equal footing. Yes, Vader only has 1 hull point, but while he's in range 1 of Dash
He's
can't
safe,
shoot him,
yes.
and that's better than having 7 evade tokens and and 80 hull points. Yeah. And this is what we saw with Dale's game earlier today, is that as long as you can get into range 1 of Dash, there's
He's
nothing
safe.
Dash can do.
Yeah.
So the real question here is, what's Dash going to do? Is Dash going to pop that burnout slam and just get out of there? To try
But we have nearly 1 hour left. It's a lot of time.
But then so what I'm saying is he wants to get Vader out of that range 1 bubble.
During 1 hour?
No, now.
Now, yes.
And then seek a more favourable engagement.
Yes, but
Okay, because while Vader's in that range 1 bubble, it's
yes,
you need to
Vader is safe.
Look, 4 straight. You need to do some drastic manoeuvres to be able to get him out of that range 1 bubble. Because Vader, engine upgrade, boost barrel
Can
roll,
boost and stay on range 1.
easily find range 1.
Yes.
Even if he's not got arc on you, as long as he gets into range 1, you can't
He's
shoot
safe,
him,
yes.
and he's safe. So what we could see now here is a free bank to the right, boost to the right, barrel roll to the
And
right,
stay on
and
range
he's not
1.
got arc. He's hitting it too hard. That's an interesting one because he can't boost over the
can boost,
refile,
and he's in range for Dash to shoot.
Yeah, so he's going to have to barrel roll to the right, to the left, sorry, and then boost forward. Barrel roll all the way forward to the left and boost forward to get it to have any chance of being able to get into range 1. There is also a possibility
Maybe the last
that
round.
Vader can now pilot skill Dash. Pilot skill kill him. Because he shoots first.
Yes.
He's going to be rolling 2 dice and a crit. And Dash is rolling 2 greens.
2 greens and 1 wolf.
Yeah. It's not a good... range one is the
best possible. It's the best option.
You've got to try for it. It's got to be a barrel roll to the left.
I'm surprised too hard left.
Barrel roll to the left, boost right is what we're looking for right now. Even
but
if
without any option for defense. No focus, no evade.
Because he's trying to get into range one. If he's in range one, there's no need for
do you think he will be in range one with a barrel roll and a
barrel roll forward and boost to the right is his only option of getting anywhere near range one. I don't know if it'll make it, but
yes. If it's out of range one, he's dead.
No. He has an opportunity to kill Dash. If he doesn't get it, then he's got to pray to the dice gods that he can survive one more.
Wait, it's a gamble.
Absolutely.
He can try it, but we're going to see now if he's going to do that or not.
It's a good final. I'm enjoying it. that might be the
barrel roll first.
Barrel roll all the way forwards,
and maybe.
I don't think a boost is going to make it. I don't think a boost is going to make it.
Maybe the boost will leave him in range one of boost.
Only straight. I'd have banked.
The right bank.
It gets you further forward. He's not at range one. 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 He is not at range one. Okay.
Let's see the range.
Let's get that range ruler out, guys.
Let's see the
Axel, our local judge.
The judge is going to see the range.
This is important.
Range one.
This is important. It's not. It's range two.
It's out of range one. Oh. Maybe.
Two dice. One focus. One blank.
Okay.
The crit.
He spends the targeting computer and gets 2 hits.
Dash is not dead.
Dash is not going to die here. He's going to get 1 focus that he spends.
Lone Wolf.
Lone Wolf the other.
No.
4 dice.
Heavy light.
Blank, 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 and a hit. 2 blanks and a hit. No, two blanks, 2 hits. Uses a focus. 4 hits. Goodbye, Vader. We come to the end of the French National Championship 2017. Nicolas Durand, champion of France 2017 with Dash Nim. 1 second, mate. Okay, Sebastian. I had to think about your name. Sebastian.
Simon.
Congrats! Thank you very much for your help there.
Thank you for inviting me.
This is the reason why the coverage of that game was a little bit worse than usual. They kept us well stocked, being carriers. They made sure it was free of charge.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And now I'll go and get interviews with them. And I know I need
you to make the interview.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Après, ça aurait pu plus mal tourner. J'ai eu beaucoup de
Merci beaucoup.
Ça fait durer.
Sorry?
Anglais, parlez-vous anglais?
I do speak English.
A little
should be
bit.
fine. No, it should be fine.
Okay. There you are. Hi. Julien.
Simon.
Well played.
Thank you very much.
Okay, the first thing is we're seeing it right up there.
Yeah,
you boost forward.
My only chance, because I was target lock focus, my only chance was to be in range 1 of dash, like
so
everyone.
Boost
so
right. Boost right, you get more distance.
That's the right call. But you know, never been on those style kind of level. I made the mistake.
Because we were talking about it, it's like, you've got like a really difficult decision. You ended up behind that debris token, and yes, it wasn't certain. It was never certain. If you barrel roll to the left, forwards as far as possible, and you boost to the right, then there's a possibility you can get within range. And when when the judge measured the range and that range would have just kind of passed through the middle, it was like the game's over.
Yeah.
And it's a shame.
I knew it was over
because
at the time, but I didn't.
Because we've seen earlier today how Vader.
Don't tell me too much. I made the wrong
No, I know.
I made a lot of good moves.
I knew you made a lot of good moves because we've seen already today how Vader can last on one whole point and still win a game. Just by controlling that position, and it's a shame. Anyway, you did really well. You should be really proud to be the French.
I am
sub-champion. Is that how they say it over here?
Runner-up? I don't know.
Okay, runner-up.
Say vice champion.
Vice-champion.
It doesn't say vice.
Don't say vice.
Doesn't mean vice.
No, of course not. So anyway, when you came up against the list, what was your
one on the final?
Yeah. What was your thoughts about the opponent's
I knew
list?
Dash would be a problem because I know he was a great Dash player.
Yeah.
I knew he will make always the right move that doesn't take too much risk. And chasing Dash showed me a very risky game.
Yeah.
So I designed my list for this event. I designed my list for to kill him, you know. Durand extent, power skill, pilot skill, 11.
Yeah.
So I ran for him as I always do with my cruise missile, and it worked. But then the exchange, you know, the one-to-one with Dash and start quick draw was very tough game for me.
And how do you feel?
But I had very good dice. You know, I rolled so much good dice without modification.
Yeah.
I could have lose way before.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's
So I'm conscious of that, you know.
We saw this already with Vader today. Is that he's got one whole point, but it's no reason to turn around and say that the game is over.
Yeah,
and you proved that a second time.
Vador is my guy. I playing since forever.
Sebastian, who was commentating with us, has told us you were playing Vader for more than 2 years.
I always play Vader.
Yeah,
I don't play someone else.
And that's why you got the T-shirt, huh?
Yeah,
absolutely.
I am.
Excellent. Well, I'd like to say thank you very much. Okay.
Thank you, Simon.
Hang around for a second because I'll do something with you once I finish the. You've got to run really quick. How's your train?
Yeah, but I think the game went. Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay, wicked. So I want to do something with you afterwards. Thank
French
you.
meta, impérial.
Si, parla français, mate. Let me go get the other guy, and we'll do an interview with the champion. Nicolas.
Hello.
Félicitations, champion national de France.
Yeah.
And how do you say 2017?
2017.
2017 en français. 2017. Muy bien. Très bien. Well done, first of all. When you saw your opponent's list, did you think it was going to be a victory for you? How much did you think had?
Actually, I was pretty convinced I was gonna lose very badly. Because of Vader's engine upgrade.
Yeah.
It's very hard to handle boosting aces with Dash Rendar.
Yeah, and your Dash doesn't have boost.
My only loss yesterday was from the Inquisitor. So.
Okay.
So yeah, I was very tense about the matchup. I thought that it was gonna be a very difficult match, and it was.
Absolutely. I mean, and it came really close at some points. We've already seen a game today where Darth Vader with one hull point can pretty much solo a Dash Rendar and take him down by himself, as long as he's able to keep that range one. And in your case, your Dash does not have that engine upgrade. He doesn't have that repositional capability to be able to get away from him if he does manage to get into that range one bubble. You have the burnout slam. Yeah. And we didn't manage to see that. Was that something you were maybe hoping that was something that was going to save your day at some point?
I was hoping to save it for the Alpha Strike, because his list has cruise missiles, so you see the free speed and 4-speed maneuver coming from afar.
Yeah.
And in that case, if I didn't have the loser stabilizer, I would have probably slammed to get away from Vader and get in his back.
Yeah.
I did a 4 despite being stressed, because I was pretty sure that he maybe won't be able to get range 1, so it was my only chance actually. My other option was to make one bank, which would have been a green maneuver, and then a slam in one hard. But he could come back very quickly, and anyway I could not play it 2 times because he had already half of dash. So I I thought that we
place to time.
Quickly.
You had more than an hour on the clock, so playing to time was not an option at that point.
You would have probably been able to. I don't know. It was a super player, so
yeah, he's a good player, and you as well. The only situation was whether or not it was something that, like, I mean, you got lucky in the end with the fact that last move he did, that last boost, just missed range 1.
Yep.
And I was discussing with him just now, if you'd have boosted to the right, maybe you'd have lost arc, but you'd still have been in range 1.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. And so, I mean, that's a sacrifice he's made there. And that may be what's cost him the game at the end, because, I mean, you were down to like 3 hull points at the end.
Yeah.
And so a range 1 attack from Darth Vader could have possibly destroyed you as well.
It was, for me, it was the last round. So that was why I did force rate instead of trying to clear my critical.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't have been able to escape him for much longer. So I was like, yeah, let's throw last round force rate and see if he can get range 1. As he had to turn around the asteroid, I thought that there was a decent chance that I could shoot at him.
And it's worked out pretty well for you. Anyway, félicitations once again. So now the next step will be Worlds 2018. Are you excited for that?
Yeah.
Have you been to Worlds before?
No, it's totally unexpected.
Absolutely.
Actually, I was my objective for yesterday was to make the cut to the afternoon. So I didn't even expect to be in the top. So.
Cool. What's the up until now? What's been your highest record as far as championships are concerned?
That would be this one.
Have you won a store championship before?
No.
No. Have you won a regional before?
Neither. I went fourth at a store, and my best for regional was, I think, top 10 or something like that.
So
regional not even top 10. It's my first major win.
Well done. Anyway,
a few small.
Absolutely deserved. And so now we'll see where you go from here. Okay. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you for sharing your game on the stream. And if there's anything you want to say in French to the people who are watching at home, now's your opportunity.
Ouais, pas beaucoup d'inspiration, donc merci d'avoir regardé la partie et puis à la prochaine.
Ya está?
I said that I wasn't very inspired, so.
Okay, no problem, man.
Thanks for watching the game.
Thank you. Okay, all right. Well, go get your prizes and enjoy the next year where you're going to be national champion.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you very much. So that brings us to the end of this broadcast day